Melissa says you're doing 10 of these?
Whoa.
But no, Mark, when he came out, we really played along with it, tried to get it as robust as we could. And,
What's up, guys? Ian Sandusky back here again for Practical Machinist. Today we are here at EASTEC with ANCA. I'm here with Russell.
Hey, Ian.
Russell, what's your role with ANCA?
Ian, thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming to EASTEC. I'm the president of ANCA for the US and South American operations.
And who's the other guy we may know over here?
So this is ANCA customer, Kevin Kranker, president owner of Gorilla Mill. I think Kevin had the spotlight yesterday.
Yep.
Yes.
And Kevin, I invited over to join in our party and add some content to the conversation as we go through.
Well, it's nice to have someone who actually operates machines and can, give that kind of
the salesman in me will tell you all the stuff I want you to know, but to hear it from someone that's using the machines all the time it's better.
So what are we looking at today? What kind of machine is this? Because I've seen very few of these in operation.
Look, so this is a CNC tool and cutter grinder, and the primary function of tool and cutter grinder is to make cutting tools. In this particular case, we are making cutting tools.
Right.
So the product that you saw yesterday, Gorilla Mill, is made on products similar to this. So a CNC tool and cutter grinder, we take a raw material, in this case carbide.
So that's solid carbide stock in there.
Solid carbide. It's a round, starts off as a round shank, and we make it into a rotary cutting tool. So the beauty with the FX7, it's a very compact machine.
Very small footprint.
Very small footprint, and that's critical in today's business. Is reduction of floor space. Put as many machines in as you can and reduce it. So as a manufacturing machine here, we're manufacturing, as I said, cutting tools. We're totally utilizing automation in this particular case. With
I don't know if you guys can see there, but there's actually a FANUC robot inside the case of this.
So the beauty with us in this particular model is we're using the FANUC robot to not only change the cutting tool, but also to change the wheels.
So for those who don't know, the cutting tool, when we talk about the cutting tool in this case, we're talking about the actual workpiece, which you can see there. The wheel is the actual tool that's being used, and that's a diamond wheel.
It's a diamond wheel, and you'll see it going through a wheel change now. We're also changing the coolant manifold along with it. So you have different wheel packs for different operations of the cutting tools, and one of the advantages of the FX7 by having the wheel packs inside the machine is you get the quick cycle time of changing the wheels, and also utilizing the same robot for changing the cutting tool. So you have your reduction in overall investment in the cost because you're using one robot to do multiple operations.
Yeah, it's doing double duty.
Yes, and what we're showing here, and what's critical, is the ability to run unmanned operations. So we're all standing here talking, and the machine's going through a cycle. There's not an operator inside, and this is what our customers do every day in the field: is set the machine up for lights out operation, using the automation to change the wheels, change the cutting tools. Also, we're releasing on this model, the first time we're showing the LaserUltra, and this is an in-process measuring machine, in-process measuring unit that is on the side of it's on the side of the probe there. I think we'll see it in an operation, and we use the laser for in-process measurement. So we'll control the geometry and accuracy of the cutting tool. The LaserUltra is a newer product for us. It replaces our Laser Plus that we had yesterday. The LaserUltra is a 70% quicker cycle time, which our customers will like. But the critical thing with the LaserUltra is it allows us to maintain tool geometry, tool accuracy in a lights out environment. And this is something that Kevin utilises on his production floor is the lights out.
Because you were saying earlier that you have how many of these machines at the grill and mill facility?
It's over 20, something like that. I just heard there was free beer here today, so that's
I got free beer at your place.
Yeah, the lights out capability. When you were over at our booth yesterday, all those tools were made with the robotic arms. We have several of these machines here, and ANCA in the last several years went from your standard glass scales or even your steel weighs and things like that to the linear machine. Linear machine is much more accurate.
We've been seeing a lot of the companies switching over to that because it's so much more accurate.
Exactly, and you know, you don't get as much thermal expansion and things like that if your building's warm or whatever. And then our biggest deal is in order to stay up and keep, you know, we've got the ability to make 3,500 tools a night.
Wow.
And how we do that is we have 2 shifts, the first shift, second shift, usually doing smaller batches. And then before they leave in the third shift, somewhere around 11 o'clock at night, they fire off a batch here. And if we have large batches where sometimes we got to make 15, 20,000 end mills at a shot,
right,
having that ability to change a wheel pack, because wheel packs wear out.
Right.
And if they wear out, it starts changing the geometry of the tool. And we can't have that happen, so we'll put several of the same wheel pack in there, get them all dialed in, fire it off, and then at a certain point, like say after 500 tools, we'll tell it to change wheel packs.
And how many wheel packs can you store in there?
I believe there's 6. Yeah,
Six
six in this one.
500 times 6.
Yeah, so you have built-in redundancy is what Kevin's saying.
3,000.
Absolutely.
He knows
You can
his
keep that thing
cycle.
going.
And so again, just to reiterate what Kevin's saying, we have linear rotary tubular linear motors on our machine. So ANCA made product, again, no contact, so we don't get the friction, the heat that Kevin mentioned. So we get not only controlled thermal growth, but we also get the accuracy and superior surface finish from non-contact tubular linear motors. And then again to reiterate, the process is fully controlled through the in-process Laser Plus.
Right.
That's you can set up to measure every tool or every 10 tools, every 20 tools, and it'll automatically compensate. So we give feedback to the machine that the wheel's worn a couple of tenths. The laser will send a signal to the control, automatically compensate
and offset
for it. So that allows us to ensure that the first tool is the same as the last tool. So Kevin's talking about 3,000 tools a night. First tool and 3,000 tool will be exactly the same due to the in-process measuring, wheel changing, just controlling the whole process.
And it's so important because when we're making cutting tools that are going to make accurate parts, if that tool is not accurate to begin with, everything down the line from it is going to be bad. And, you know, when you're dealing with your tools that have that harmonic dampening, if it's not correct to the spec that you're trying to hit, the whole idea is just out the window.
If we didn't have the simulator that these guys have, we can build our tool in a 3D simulated world and then shoot it right across our network to the machine, and it makes it exactly how we built it in this 3D simulator as long as the wheels are dialed in.
So again, ensuring the first tool is set up right, develop the tool offline on a simulation program, and then download it to the machine. First tool perfect. And again, going back to controlling the process, the worst thing that can happen in Kevin's business is to set the machine up, run the tools, come in the next morning and find that you've got
a pallet full of garbage.
Not that has happened, but
never once in my experience.
So, you know, the critical thing is to control the process, and so that's what ANCA is done with all its models across the board, and the laser plays a critical part to it. Automation, ability to change the wheels.
And speaking of across the line, I believe there's another machine you wanted to take a look at here. Why don't we go take a walk and check that out? So what do we have here?
So following along on ANCA's ability to make cutting tools, and you know, there's a process in that requires the tools to be etched.
Right.
It's really the final before it goes into a cartridge. So customers are making the tools on our machine, and they can take it straight out of the pallet, load it into our AutoMark X. We have a Fanuc robot. We can see it up on the TV here, and we have a laser beam in the corner. The Fanuc robot will pick up the tool that's come off an ANCA machine or any tool grinder, LaserMark X on the diameter, so we laser the periphery, but we can also laser the end of the tool so that customers there's a lot of customers don't want to put the markings on the shank. Allows us to do the end.
Now, the
as
one
well.
thing I've seen a lot of people shifting to, and I don't know if you guys have that over at Gorilla Mill, maybe you do, are QR codes on the tools.
That's right. So it's critical and becoming more and more. Also on the AutoMark X, we can do QR codes, serialization, logos, dress it up,
for
barcode.
inventory purposes.
So for instance, you could serialize it so you know that if it's from this batch, it was on this date.
We put lot numbers on every one of ours.
You could put a barcode on it, so then you can inventory it and
you can track it.
Exactly.
And the simple thing here is we're using consistent ANCA technology, Fanuc robot, the pallets, ANCA CNC control, ANCA software, but it's also setting us up for the future where we have a product called AIMS, ANCA Integrated Manufacturing Cell, and that's where we want to take it a step further of unmanned operation. Companies such as Gorilla Mill and others that are doing this lights out running.
Right.
ANCA's AIMS is the future of where AGVs are running in front of the machines with robots on them, automating the process. So we control it all. We prepare the blank. We have a CPX blank prep machine. We have the tool and cutter grinder to make the cutting tool. And then we come to the final step. And this is all in line with our AIMS automation package that sets us up for lights out manufacturing.
I mean, I've never seen so many robots inside machines standard. Like, this machine does not come without a robot.
Does not come without a robot.
It is automated no matter what. It's really an interesting step forward where you're not seeing them as options anymore. It is essential to operation of the machine.
So we fill up 3 pallets, push the go button, the door automatically closes, the operator goes, he might be running another machine,
running the grinder
in another section, and you can watch it on the camera standard, and come back a couple of hours or an hour, whatever the cycle time is, it's all done.
Ready to go.
The next operation's placing it into the tube.
Now, what do we have coming up in the next year? Anything exciting coming up for ANCA?
So we've got IMTS, the large machine tool show, coming in September, and we have some new products that we plan to show. And the critical thing that ANCA will continue to invest in software. We are the technology leaders in our field. We're the innovators of most of the technology you see on tool and cutter grinders today. And so come to the show and you'll see all the new and fancy stuff. Ian.
Where can we find you here at EASTEC?
So we are at booth
1112.
1112, and we'd love to see everybody come and see us, and come and see Gorilla Mill, and go to Hall 5. It's full of everything, but come and see ANCA. We'd love to show you the newest technology that you all know and expect to come from ANCA. And Ian, it was a pleasure having you.
Thank you very much for your time, guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Nice
I'm
to see you
going
again.
to get him in trouble a little bit. He sells a lot of machines around the world and to some of our competitors, but we're his favorite. So.
I don't know how to answer that on camera, but we'll wait for it to turn off, and I'll.
We'll spit that up real quick.